Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se Prabhu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Bhagavati Vasudha Devi Dasi from Mangalore, India. Please forgive me for stopping all of you from ecstatic chanting. Let us move on to the next part of the session. That is, I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name given by Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Now we'll move on to the next session, that is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know all are joining the call today?
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mathaji, please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashamati Priya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Bhagavati Vasudha Mathaji,
humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mathaji, Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Preeti Das from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balaveda. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. All goes to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining. Hare Krishna Balavrinda, Dandavat Pranam Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, all glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devdasi from Dalai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, my humble obeisances to you and all assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Param Bhavani Shama Devi Dasi from Baltimore, Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Param Pavani Shama Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sundarangi Radha Dasi from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Radha Mathaji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. My Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotee. This is Sharanagata from Maryland. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Sharanagati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, is there anyone who would like to introduce on the call today? Okay. I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are really fortunate to have His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 7.14.6 and 7. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to hand over the call to Sundarangi Radha Mathaji for the brief introduction on Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji as our speaker today. So Prabhuji came to Krishna consciousness in 2004. He earned a MBBS degree from Grant Medical College. Gaur Vilas Prabhuji joined the ashram in 2010 and he was initiated as a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2012. Prabhuji preaches in various medical and engineering colleges. He also conducts programs for doctors at Bhakti Vedanta Hospital and in corporate environments. He is a teacher of Bhakti Sastri and Bhakti Vaibhava courses. He also conducts congregational programs in Mumbai and Maharashtra. Gaur Vilas Prabhuji has done through studies of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you so much, Mataji. And here was the brief introduction about Prabhuji. Now I will hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that brief introduction on Gaur Vilas Prabhuji.
I don't see Prabhuji on the call, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. So we will wait for Prabhuji to join. Till then, if anyone would like to introduce themselves, they can go ahead. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य हरे कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण
Ji Prabhuji joined.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय थैंक यू प्रभु जी यस प्रभु जी यू आर ऑडिबल धन्यवाद प्रणाम
Sorry for delay. I'll begin with my praise. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So thank you for this opportunity to serve. Today we are discussing from 7th canto, chapter 14, verse number 6 and 7. यातयः पितरौ पुत्रा भ्रातरः सुहृदौ परे यद्वदन्ति यदिच्छन्ति चानुमोदेत निर्ममा. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, that's all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. 7th verse. Divyam homam chantariksham vittam achyutam nirmitam tat sarvam upayunjana Etat kuryat svato buddha. Natural products created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be utilized to maintain the bodies and the souls of all living entities. The necessities of life are of three types: those produced from the sky, from rainfall, from the earth, from the mines, seas, or the fields, and from the atmosphere. That which is obtained suddenly and unexpectedly. Purport. We living entities in different forms are all children of Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 14.4. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya hatasam brahmam hadiyonir aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and I am the seed-giving father. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the father of all living entities in different species and forms. One who is intelligent can see that all living entities in the 84 lakh bodily forms are part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are his sons. Everything within the material and spiritual worlds is the property of the Supreme Lord. Ishavasya vidam sarvam. And therefore, everything has a relationship with him. Srila Goswami says in this regard, Prapanchikadaya buddhya harisambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. One who rejects anything without knowledge of its relation to Krishna is incomplete in his renunciation. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 256. Although Mayavadi philosophers say that the material creation is false, but actually it is not false. It is factual. But the idea that everything belongs to human society is false. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for everything is created by Him. All living entities, being the Lord's sons, His eternal parts and parcels, have the right to use their Father's property by nature's arrangement. As stated in the Upanishads, Tena taktena bhunjitha ma vidaktasya svidhanam. Everyone should be satisfied with the things allotted him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one should encroach upon another's property or rights. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavah yagyat bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhavah. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yagya, sacrifice, and yagya is born of prescribed 3 point. When the food grains are sufficiently produced, both animals and human beings can be nourished without difficulty for their maintenance. This is nature's arrangement. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. Everyone is acting under the influence of material nature, and only fools think they can improve upon what God has created. The householders are specifically responsible for seeing that the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are maintained without fighting between men, communities, societies, or nations. Human society should properly utilize the gifts of God, especially the food grains that grow because of rain falling from the sky. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yagyad Bhavati Parjanyaha. So that rainfall will be regulated, humanity should perform Yagya sacrifices. Yagyas were previously performed with offerings of oblations of ghee and food grains. But in this age, of course, this is no longer possible. For the production of ghee and food grains has diminished because of the sinful life of human society. However, people should take to Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna mantra as recommended in the Shastras. Yagyai Sankirtana Praya Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. If people throughout the world take to Krishna consciousness movement and chant the easy sound vibration of the transcendental name and fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be no scarcity of rainfall. Consequently, food grains, fruits, flowers will be properly produced, and all the necessities of life will be easily obtained. Grihasthas or householders should take the responsibility for organizing such natural production. It is therefore said, Tasyeva heto prayateta kovido. An intelligent person should try to spread Krishna consciousness through the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, and all the necessities of life will automatically follow. Hare Krishna. So this is the 14th chapter going on, which is entitled The Ideal Family Life. This chapter, Narad Muni is describing the occupational duties of householder according to the time, the country, and the performer. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was very inquisitive about understanding the occupational duties of a householder because he being a grihastha. So Narad Muni, he is describing in this section in detail, and he begins by describing that the first and foremost duty of a householder is to worship Krishna, to offer the results of his activities to Krishna, and association with saintly people. And these two verses, very, very interesting verses. Sixth verse, Narad Muni is very, very wonderfully, he is giving a sutra of dealing with family members. This one verse, if followed properly, this will change our life, change our interactions with our family members, our relatives who are not devotees, because many times we have to deal with them. And a new devotee in an immature stage, they may speak something which will upset those relatives, and they will never come to Krishna consciousness. So when we start practicing Krishna consciousness, we learn so many intricacies of bhakti, the rules and regulations of devotional service we learn. However, in due course of time, we should also learn how to deal with the world. Because ultimately we have to live in this world only. Just like I said, we are not this body, we know that, but we are in this body. We have to take care of the body so that we can practice bhakti nicely. If the body is not proper, we all know something happens. Just ordinary cough cold is sufficient to decrease our intensity of bhakti. We are living in a social body. We are not connected to any of them spiritually. We are all connected to Krishna. Mamaivaamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. But now we are staying in this society where we have our family members, our relatives, society. So we should learn how to deal with them so that we can practice bhakti peacefully. This is very, very important. You know. Otherwise, in an immature stage, a devotee may completely make his or her own life a mess in an immature way, dealing with relatives. Somebody says, worship, oh, please come to temple and worship. We are going to Lord Samdevta temple. Oh, Devtas are all servants of Krishna. I worship Krishna only. They will not come to Krishna and they will make our life miserable. So in this verse, very, very scientifically, Narad Muni is the best psychologist here. He understands how to deal with people in a way not to disturb them. Because Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, also 3rd chapter, 25th, I think 26th verse, Krishna says, Na buddhi bhedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharam. We should not disturb the faith of less intelligent people. Try to engage them in Krishna consciousness. So Narad Muni in the 6th verse is telling if somebody gives you some suggestion, anything, that suggestion can be material suggestion or spiritual suggestion. Oh, we should go to this temple also. We should, you should increase your business in this way. You should work like this. How you should deal with them? A devotee who is not so mature, he'll say, I don't care about any of this. I am worshipping Krishna. It's like I remember one of our students long back. He started practicing bhakti, started chanting. Maybe he was chanting 8 rounds. He went home and his mother told him, Beta, oh my child, please go and get some vegetables from the market. So in his immature stage, you know what he says? Oh, mommy, my life is not meant for getting sabji from the market. I am supposed to serve Krishna. So mother became so upset. She started thinking, where is he learning all this? And she came to know that he is going to Hare Krishna temple for a program, attending programs in hostel. She said, you should never attend that program. So that's how, in an immature stage, how we disturb others and we spoil our own devotional service consequently. Narad Muni very, very wonderfully is saying, if any of your relative, your known people, Gyataya, Pitara, your elders, Putra, your sons, Bhratara, relatives, brothers, Surida, your well-wishers. Sometimes they are well-wishers. When people they give suggestions, our relatives, they are wishing well for us. Of course, their wishes are according to their conceptions, their material ways of thinking, but we should understand that they desire well-being for us. And whatever level they are trying to give suggestion accordingly. How we should deal with them. Yadavadanti, yadichanti, whatever they desire, whatever they speak, we should never ever oppose them. We should never say, I'll never do this. Oh, this is all wrong. Anumodita. This is a very important word. Anumodita. Anumodan means acknowledge. We all need acknowledgements, right? When we send some mail or some reply, we all have experience. If the person doesn't reply, acknowledge our message or mail, it is so very hurting. Acknowledge them. Yes, anumodate. And Prabhupada writes, yes, that's all right. But you should not have any plans to, follow that. So repeatedly, if we are working like this, never retaliating, never opposing bluntly, it requires some practice. And it works really wonders. When we don't retaliate and when we say yes, we'll think about it and I think it is a good idea. Just one word, one sentence is sufficient to pacify them. And they'll say, oh, at least he has heard my suggestion. And then we are free to do whatever we want. Otherwise, you know what will happen? We will be troubled by them again and again. And that person will start thinking, what does he think of himself? I gave such a good suggestion and he is not responding. He is rejecting my proposal. Basically, spiritual life means it is the art of learning best responses. That is Krishna consciousness. How to respond to society, how to respond to people, how to respond to circumstances. That is the art we have to learn. And if we become expert in the art of responding, not reacting, when we have seen if there is some soft drink bottle, shake it and open it, what happens? Everything comes out. And if there's a water bottle, normal water bottle, shake it, open it, nothing will happen. Many times we react to situations. If somebody says, oh, I don't want it. Oh, this is not good. Just wait. Allow them to just open their heart, whatever they want to say, and then you acknowledge them. Acknowledging doesn't mean you accept it. Acknowledging means you give some value to the words of that person. After all, we all need some respect. We don't desire and hanker for respect. But if somebody acknowledges our presence, if somebody hears what we say, it feels good. Everyone is a human being. In the course of practicing Krishna consciousness, we should not forget these intricacies of dealings. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Your words, our words should be truthful, but they should not disturb people. Anudvegakaram, they should not disturb people. They should be truth, but they should never disturb people. When we are acknowledging, then we are just respecting their words. Even Krishna does that in Bhagavad Gita. In the 8th chapter, Krishna says there are people who say sannyas is this, tyaga is this. He's acknowledging. He's not saying, oh, this is all bogus. So we have to learn to acknowledge what people say. That is how we will learn to show good responses. Bhagavatam is full of such instances and stories where devotees they gave their best responses. One time, Srila Prabhupada was giving a talk, and there was one lady. She had a small child. The child was crying, disturbing everyone. Prabhupada told her, "Can you please take the child out?" So this lady, she was little, taken aback. She said, "Swamiji, is the child disturbing you?" Prabhupada said, "Child is not disturbing me, he is disturbing you and everyone else." Prabhupada could have said, this child is creating a nuisance here. So we have to learn how to respond to situations. One person came and said, he asked, challenged Prabhupada. Since you are a guru and you know everything, how many windows are there in Empire State Building? So Prabhupada replied, how much water is in Mirage? So this was a brilliant response. He could have said, this is a nonsense question. It is significant because how much water is in the Mirage? It is meaningless to ask such question. But Prabhupada was expert in giving such wonderful responses. And how one can learn to develop such responses, because we all want to become like that. But somehow, because of our conditionings, because of our upbringing or past life experiences, our conditionings are like lines and rock. They are very difficult to be erased. How to change them? How to give good responses? Samyak vyavasita buddhi tavarajarshi sattama vasudeva kathayam te tajjata naishtikirati. Shukdev Goswami in the beginning of the 10th canto is telling Parikshit Maharaj, when Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami that, oh great sage, please continue speaking Krishna Katha. Don't think I am hungry, I am troubled by thirst. I am drinking the nectar of Hari Katha from your mouth. Naishati tussakshunmam tyaktodam apivadate vibantam tvanmukham bhoja shutam Hari Kathamritam. I am drinking Hari Katha from your mouth. Hear this. Shukdev Goswami says, Parikshit, you have such a steady intelligence. Samyak Vyavasita buddhi. You have steady intelligence. You know what is the secret of steady intelligence? Vasudeva kathayam te tajjata naishthiki rati. Because you have developed unflinching, steady devotion unto Lord Krishna. For intelligence is fixed in Krishna Katha. And if we are really praying to the Lord to give us right intelligence, we will never be bewildered. In the course of practicing bhakti, we should learn the intricacies of dealings with devotees, dealing with the outside world. This these qualities, they are not material qualities, speaking in a nice way. They are supposed to be developed. Speech, this is one thing which can make relations and break relations. We glorify the Lord, we'll develop relation with the Lord. We glorify devotees, we develop relation with devotees. We speak something bad about others, we'll break our relations. There are various qualities our speech should have. Ritu Maharaj, as he is instructing his citizens, it comes in the 4th canto. His speech has 7 good qualities. Charu chitrapadam slakshnam rishtam gudham aviklavam sarvesham upakarartham tadanuvadanyava. Charu, it was sweet to hear. When we hear some devotees, when they speak, it is like nectar. Chitrapadam, the words were full of metaphors, allegory, some comparison. They call it alankar in Sanskrit. Slakshnam, it was very precise. Don't beat around the bush, as they say. Mrishtam gudham. One should speak truth in a very, very secret way, confidential way, in a very precise way. Others should not understand the secret. Or when we are speaking something, we should be precise. Aviklavam, it should be without any duplicity. Sarvesham upakarartham, it should be for the well-being of others. So that's how a devotee learns to speak in right way. And that's what this verse says. We learn to respond to situations, to the suggestions. Soak our mind with Krishna Katha. Pray to Krishna to purify us, to transform our intelligence, and miracles will happen. We don't pray for these things. We have to pray how to deal with people. We should not disturb them. We should not offend devotees. And in fact, for anyone, we should not disturb and trouble them. It comes in the 3rd canto. Kapila Dev, while teaching to Mother Devahuti, he tells about the pure devotional service, and then he speaks very strong words. He says, "Oh my mother, my devotees, if they are worshipping me, but if they are criticizing living entities, if they are disrespecting them, if they are offending them, not devotees, any living entity, these offenses become an obstacle in the path of devotional service. Avakyaya, avamaninaha, somebody offends, somebody criticizes, Krishna doesn't like it. So that's how we have to learn to develop good responses. And the more we pray to Krishna, the more we absorb our mind in Krishna Katha. Because whatever we hear, that only will come out. When we hear about the beautiful dealings of Krishna with his devotees, how he is so very sensitive, so very the perfection of maturity in speech. When to speak, when not to speak, what to speak. Time, place, circumstance. Krishna is expert in that. And many times, his smile is sufficient. He doesn't have to speak also. His smile is sufficient to convey so many meanings. It comes again and again in Bhagavatam. When Kunti Maharani, she offers beautiful prayers, series of verses. How Krishna responded? Just smiled. When Krishna entered Mathura, when Krishna entered Dwaraka, all the Dwarakavasis, they glorified. What was the response of Krishna? He just smiled. So that's how, Krishna is the best. He's the Supreme Lord, of course, he'll be the best. But we cannot say, well, he is Krishna, he can do it. I am a fallen, insignificant soul. What can I do? I am like this. You have to change. Learn to give good responses. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam. Krishna will give intelligence if we pray, if we practice bhakti properly. Mind of a devotee is like a sponge. Mind is like a sponge. Mind of a devotee, it's like a sponge which is soaked in the nectar. You press it, what will come out? Nectar. If the mind is soaked in neem juice, if the sponge is soaked in neem juice, what will come out? Karela juice, what will come out? So we have to absorb our minds with Krishna Katha. Krishna Bhakti Siddhanta Gan Yate Prafulla Padmavan Tara Madhukari Aswadan Prema Rasad Kumuduvine Prafullita Ratri Dine Tate Charao Mano Bringagan. Krishna Bhakti Siddhanta, the Siddhanta, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, it's like a full blown garden of lotuses. Tara Madhukari Aswadan, please drink the nectar of Harikatha, which is available in this Krishna Bhakti Siddhanta. Premarasa Kumuduvane Prafullita Ratri Dine, be enlivened in this garden. Please roam around, make your mind like a bee, bumblebee, and try to drink this nectar. The more we absorb this nectar, the more we will learn to give good responses. Because ultimately, it depends on how we respond to situations. Krishna consciousness is the ultimately art of good responses. And the more we become mature, the more we will give good responses. We have heard in the first canto the beautiful story of, not so beautiful, it's a sad story of Ashwatthama killing the 5 sons of Draupadi. Arjuna and Krishna, they are running behind Ashwatthama to catch him and arrest him. Arjuna had taken a vow that I will get the head of Ashwatthama. And then Draupadi, you can stand on the head of Ashwatthama and take your bath. Ultimately, there was a huge fight between Ashwatthama and Arjuna. Ashwatthama shot Brahmastra. He didn't know how to retract it. Arjun shot another Brahmastra, counteracted that Brahmastra, and ultimately retracted both of them, and then arrested Ashwatthama. He could not kill Ashwatthama because he realized that he is a Brahmana. He is a son of Brahman. Arrested him, brought him in the camp, and threw him in front of Draupadi. When Draupadi, she saw this condition of Ashwatthama, all of her 5 sons were killed by Ashwatthama. As a very soft-hearted lady, she said, please don't kill him. Dharmyam nyayam sa karunam nirvyalikam samam mahat. She gave 6 reasons why you should not kill Ashwatthama. It is against dharma. He is Brahman. How can you kill Brahman? Nyaya. This is not Nyaya. His father taught you all the lessons of military art, and now you are killing his son. This is not Nyaya. Sakarunam. It's like I am suffering. I don't want Kripi to suffer. And then hearing all these wonderful things from Draupadi. Krishna, earlier he was telling, kill him. Now he is telling, don't kill Ashwatthama. Yudhishthira also changed his opinion, don't kill. Nakul Sahadev, don't kill. Only one person, he continued with the same opinion. Bhima said, kill him. He has killed our sons. Now Krishna tells Arjun, you have to fulfill your vow. You have taken a vow that you will kill Ashwatthama. You have to please Draupadi also. You have to please Yudhishthira. You have to please me. You have to please Bhima also. Now you do whatever you want. This is a very tough situation, most difficult situation. What did Arjuna do? Arjuna sahasa jaya harer hardam mathasina manim jahar murdhanyam dvijasya sahamurdhajam Arjuna, he could immediately understand what is to be done. Sahasa means immediately. Agyaya, he came to know. How? Hare Hardam. He knew the heart of Krishna. He knew what Krishna wants me to do in this situation because he was a great devotee of Krishna. He was Satata Yukta, Bhajata Priti Purvakam. So therefore Krishna gave him the intelligence what is to be done. He cut off the jewel which was there on the head of Ashwatthama. He shaved off some of the tough hair from Ashwatthama's head and threw him out of the camp. A Brahmana is never supposed to be killed. This was sufficient punishment for a Brahman. So that's how, the more we understand, the more we absorb our mind with Krishna Katha, in Krishna Katha, we learn to give good response. In the beginning days of Krishna consciousness, we have a identity in the outside world when we are with people of the world, and when we are with the devotees, we have another identity, right? When we are with devotees, we become humble. We show that we are humble. Oh, Prabhuji, I am so fallen. Other devotee says, no, Prabhuji, I am more fallen than you. I am lower than the worm in the stool. So all these words we learn, but inside we don't, believe those words. But externally we tell those words. In the outside world, we are a different personality altogether. One time, one devotee was taking a group of devotees for yatra, and they were going to Vrindavan. And they were in train. The train stopped at one station, and one person, he entered, and he was like little rowdy person. He started speaking all bad words, all abuses, and to devotees. One person in the group of devotees who was generally very humble, sober, soft spoken, he got up and he started giving all the big words of abuse. And so far, devotees were disturbed hearing that rowdy, gunda person. And now the devotees are shocked. We hai kya? Is this the same devotee who was so humble? And this devotee chased this person out of the train bogie. And he entered the bogie again, and he saw all the devotees were shocked. So he said, Prabhuji, don't take tension, This is my old dictionary. I don't use it so often. So we have different identities. In the outside world, we are different. When we are with devotees, we are different. But for pure devotees, their inside and outside are same. But whatever it may be, as it is said, fake it till you make it. Even if we don't like to do something, we should do that thing because it is right. I don't want to become humble here. Still, we should become humble because it is right thing. That's a wonderful statement, and the statement has saved me many times. When we say sorry to someone, that doesn't mean we are wrong. That means we value the relationship more than being right. That is very, very important. Because it happens many times. We are with devotees, some clashes, and the other devotees at fault. And we think, why should I go and ask forgiveness? That's his fault or her fault. He should come and ask forgiveness. It is not about asking forgiveness. Who asks? It is about, do we value the relationship? If we value the relationship, we should be the first person to say sorry. So that's the devotee. He is a seeker of essence. What do I want? Do I want relationship with devotees, or do I want to become winner? I conquered that devotee. The devotee was telling yesterday only, the best way to defeat a devotee is win over him. If we win a devotee, we have defeated him hundreds of times. That is how spiritual calculations work. It doesn't make sense in the outside world. But for devotees, it is the most important equation. Win over devotee. How to win devotees? Heart. By serving devotee, by becoming humble. That is our devotee, seeker of essence. What is the purpose of life? What's the purpose of my existence? Satamayam sarabhritam nisargo yadarthavani shruti chetasamapi pratikshanam navyavadacchatasya yat striya vitanam iva sadhu varta. Satam, the devotees, they are sarabhritam. They are seekers of essence. Yadarthavani shruti chetasamapi. They are always absorbed in hearing the pastimes of Krishna with their mind, words, body, their consciousness, their wealth. They are thinking about Krishna, trying to serve Krishna, trying to serve the devotees of Krishna, because ultimately we can't practice bhakti alone. How we can practice bhakti alone? It becomes just a external thing to practice bhakti alone. We will not learn the intricacies of devotion when we are alone. एकाकी अमर नहीं पाए बल हरि नाम संकीर्तने तुम्ही कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देहो कृष्ण नाम धने. We have no strength alone. We are powerless. And devotees, they are really working hard to teach us. Srila Prabhupada has worked so hard to teach us. One of the Prabhupada disciples, Yashomati Nandan Prabhu, he recalls, Prabhupada was in Mayapur in 1977. Last few months, Prabhupada had a fever, and somebody was there with him constantly. Yashomati Nandan was massaging Prabhupada's feet. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Prabhupada was taking rest. Suddenly he got up in the middle of the night, in the midst of that high fever. He had fever. And he started speaking. Oh, these rascal scientists do not accept this. Go and preach to them. We should do that. We should tell them you are not this body, you are spirit soul. Prabhupada was speaking philosophy 2:30 a.m. in the morning. And again, after speaking for some time, he went back to sleep. He was dreaming about preaching. He was living for preaching. For many of us, giving class requires lots of preparation, lots of materials we have to gather, Vedabase, okay, search some things, and because it is not there in our heart. For many of us, not most of us, for many of us, and that too in the beginning days, beginning years, it is artificial. But we have to give class. So we prepare something and we give class. But for pure devotees, it is natural because that's what they are made up of. Have you ever seen Prabhupada referring to his notes? Never he did that. And his classes were amazing. If you hear just the transcendental, just the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is, we all know Prabhupada spoke this introduction to whom? To no one. He called people, nobody turned up. He just turned on the recording tape, he started speaking to the 4 walls. And that lecture became the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is. It has around 50 paragraphs. And if you analyze that, every paragraph is a masterpiece. Prabhupada, he is giving 5 logic statements in every paragraph practically. He makes a statement, he gives an example to prove it, he tells what others are telling about this, and he refutes other statements, and then he gives some quotations from other scriptures to support his statement. So we can't imagine how Prabhupada did that, because he was made of that. Every word of Prabhupada was recorded. Can you imagine if somebody, the moment you get up, somebody keeps a mic in front of you and says everything you speak will be recorded? You go into difficulty and anxiety. Baba, whatever I speak whole day, it cannot be recorded. As Hindi mein they say, "Pol khul jayegi." We are something else. We are not always Krishna conscious. But for pure devotees, whatever they speak, that is perfect. It is full of Krishna. They know how to give best responses. So that's the wonderful thing about advancing in Krishna consciousness. We have to learn. We learn good responses. It is not an art. People do many seminars, anger management, speaking skills, and this art of responses. It is not an art we can learn externally. Because ultimately, whatever is inside, that comes out when we are pressed. When we fill our mind with Krishna, then naturally we will make right responses. Because we will be in tune with Krishna's consciousness. Because that is also Krishna consciousness. To be conscious of what Krishna is thinking. How Krishna wants me to respond in this situation. That should be our prayer. Every day we should pray to spiritual masters, to Srila Prabhupada, to Gaur Nitai, to Radha Krishna, so that we can do what they want us to do, serve the way they want us to serve. So that is very, very important to understand. And scriptures, we have heard so many examples. How devotees, when they went into difficulties, how they gave the best responses. Vidurji, when he was insulted, he wanted to do good to Dhritarashtra. He wanted welfare of the entire dynasty. He always told Dhritarashtra, just throw this son Duryodhana out of the palace. He will be the cause of destruction of your dynasty. Dhritarashtra didn't listen. Duryodhana heard. What he said? Who has kept the son of this maid servant here? He is eating our side from our plate and he is favoring our enemies. Throw this person out of the palace, leave him only with his breath. That is the remuneration of lifetime of service. Saitamatyul Banakarna Banai Bhratu Puramarma Sutanitopi Swayam Dhanurdvari Nidhaya Mayam Gata Vyatoyat Urumanayanaha. He thought maybe it is a plan of Krishna. Yogamaya is acting on me, Mahamaya is acting on Duryodhana. There must be some plan of Krishna. So therefore, I should trouble myself. Why I should think that this is a problem in my life? This is a benediction. Few days back, one devotee was giving a wonderful discourse, and he told, whenever something wrong happens in our life, we should remember one sutra, BID. And he said, what is this BID? This is blessing in disguise. Always connect this. Whenever we have some difficulty, this is blessing in disguise. Because we don't know why this is happening, but there must be some plan of Krishna. That's how a devotee feels. Tattenukampa susamikshmano bhunjanuevatmakritam vipakam Ridvagvapurvirvidadan namaste Jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhak. It is extreme mercy, anukampa. It is not ordinary mercy, extreme mercy, anukampa. I deserve to suffer much more. But, oh my Lord, you have given me much less. There must be some blessing in this disguise, So that's how, Viduji thought, maybe there is some blessing here. I always wanted to go for pilgrimage. Now it is a good chance to go to pilgrimage. Bhishma, he is on the deathbed, on the bed of arrows. What can be the more painful situation than this? He never blamed Krishna. In fact, when Krishna he came with Pandavas, Bhishma becomes so very happy, so very grateful. He tells to Yudhishthir, just see to Yudhishthir Maharaj how merciful Krishna is. तथाप्येकान्त भक्तेषु पश्य भूपानुकम्पितं यन्मे सोऽत्यजत साक्षात् कृष्णो दर्शनागतः. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu, whoever serves Krishna with one pointed devotion, just see, O king, Pashya Bhupa, Bhupa means O king, just see Anukampa of Krishna. I am about to leave my life. Yanme asun tyajata, I am about to leave my life affairs. Krishna has come to give me blessings. That is a devotee. He has lived a life of devotion. That's why he could speak like this. So, right from dealing with the people of the world, dealing with the situations of the world, dealing with our own mind, relatives, friends, we should know. The more we absorb ourselves in Krishna consciousness, we learn to give good responses. Narad Muni, it comes in the sixth canto, when he made 11,000 sons of Daksha into brahmacharis. You know what is he thinking? He goes and meets Daksha. Can you imagine? One son becoming a brahmachari. It's a big, big shock for the parents. 11,000 sons becoming renunciants. And Narad Muni has the daring to go to Daksha and tell what happened, what he did. Why he did that? Why he had to go to Daksha? Narad Muni is thinking, well, the entire dynasty of Swayambhuman, Priyavrat, Uttanpat, Dhruva, Prachina Barahi, Prachetas, then sons of Prachetas, Haryashvas, Shavalashvas, they are all made devotees by me only. They have all attained the Lord. And there's only one Daksha is remaining in material life. Now I will deliver him also. And he goes to Daksha. And Daksha, he is really angry. He curses that you are a pretender. He gives so many bad words to Daksha, to Narad Muni. I curse you, you will not be able to stay at one place. What Narad Muni thought? Blessing in disguise. This is a blessing. Anyways, I don't want to stay at one place. I'll keep traveling and speaking message of Krishna. So that's how a devotee knows. He has this conviction. Whatever is happening, will of the Lord. That's how he learns to give good responses. So that's what this verse says. Externally, he says, yes, that's all right. Internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life. If we give wrong responses, we are creating entanglement. And then the seventh verse, Narada is describing how we should see everything in relation with the Lord. Everything is created by the Lord, so that ultimately we can connect to Him. Use everything in Krishna's service. Prabhupada in the purport focuses on how everything can be used in service of the Lord, how everything is attained from the Lord, and we should use it back in service to the Lord. Okay, so I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very, very wonderful class. Always you give so much importance about how the devotee relationship should be. It is always about today you stressed a point, how you respond. That is very important for us. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful session and input. I request you, please, if they have any questions. Yeah. Manjari Leela Mataji, you can ask your question.
Oh, sorry. Hare Krishna. I was speaking. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for such a wonderful lecture, Prabhuji, as always. It was very thought-provoking. Especially, this is a very important art as devotees to learn how to speak, properly, as well as, you can speak the truth, but in a palatable way. So and then you said one thing that really, it's been a tough challenge, especially for me, when you said that, fake it till you make it. And initially this can, you can learn to cultivate, I guess you can cultivate this for outside your family members. But when you try to cultivate within the family members, and, when you say fake it till you make it. So yes, you can fake it till you make it outside, but then when it comes from inside the family members, it really gets really tough to consistently, fake this till you make it kind of thing, right? Because there's familiarity breeds contempt. So it's very difficult to, keep that same kind of patience within amongst the family members. And they could be devotees too, right? And they're devotees. So at that time, you kind of have this, very subtle way expectation that they should know this better. They should know that this is, you get to in this kind of thing. And yes, that everyone's on a different level, different steps. All that is there. But this part of still trying to keep that patience with, within the family members, and speaking in this way, it gets really hard sometimes, at least for me. So how do we consistently, approach within the family members, who are devotees maybe, or who's at least trying to be devotees even, the other extended family?
Yes, Radhi, thank you for that thoughtful, very relevant question. I think most of us go through this problem, this situation when we have family members who are devotees and they can't understand what we want to do. They don't understand, or we feel that they have not understood. They have different natures, different ways of working. Yes, we have to understand that we are living with conditioned souls, not pure devotees. We are in a society of conditioned sadhakas, and with some devotees who have perfected. While dealing with sadhakas, while dealing with devotees, of course, it is not so easy. But the more we are prayerful, the more we are thoughtful, the more we are focused about the goal, what we want, the more we will be able to handle situations. Of course, things will go wrong still. Still, people will not understand, behave the way we want them to behave. And we should have that broad-mindedness to accept them as they are. If we try to change people, we'll be frustrated. Speak what you what I think we should speak. I feel like this. If they are not understanding, accept them. We should not try to change people. Just try to express your emotions, express what we feel. Never ever find faults. That means never ever tell what wrong they did. Of course, it is not an absolute statement. We have to tell them. But many times when somebody hurts us, we say you are insensitive. You didn't deal properly. You should not have spoken this. Instead of speaking like this, the other way of speaking is when you said that, I felt like this. We are not judging them, we are just expressing our emotions, our feelings. So that is a right way of communicating our needs. Gradually we learn, our tolerance increases. When we have too many expectations, ultimately we'll be disturbed, we'll be frustrated. So therefore, it is a long way. We can't expect people to think the way we think. It is, of course, we have to learn to compromise. Everybody is on a different journey. Everybody is a different person. Everybody has different ways of thinking. We have to learn to accept them and do the needful. Always focusing on one thing, that ultimately I want to develop a relation with Krishna. All the relations we have, they're temporary. We should always keep them in mind. All the disputes, all the so-called disagreements, they will stay only for some time. But if we are investing our mind and thinking in those things, ultimately we are occupying our mind space with those things. We can't think of Krishna then. Understand the temporary nature of this world. Always remember it. So therefore, there is no need to spend too much of our emotions and time in those things. And if we do like this, we'll see our relations will be better. When we try to change people, they will never change and will be frustrated.
Right.
So we have to learn to give them the space where they can express their thoughts, their ways of working. At the same time, we should not impose what we want them to do. Just express your emotions and tell once or twice that this is what I was thinking. Because ultimately, none of the things of the world lasts. Naikatra priya samvasa suridam chitra karmanam oghena vyuhumananam plavanam surata suyatha. It's like the two straws in the river, they stay for some time, get separated. People, they come together in relationships, stay for some time and get separated. Why invest so much of our consciousness in those things? Just do the needful, as Prabhupada would always say.
Yeah, so in that case, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're saying something, Prabhu? Okay. No, I was just saying, so in addition to that, like when I'm referring to more of myself. So how do I, so let's say, we want to also do Gohyam Akhyati Prichati. So we sometimes act our normal way, let's say with our, our siblings or our parents, because expecting them to understand the things that we may be going through, right? And at that time, we may not be always very calm or very soft spoken, knowing that it's wrong, but still because you feel that there's a connection, you want that expression of yourself as on helping. I mean, you kind of want to be yourself with someone who you're very close to, but in the event of that, you may be hurting them because you're not speaking palatably every time, or you're not soft spoken at that time, even though it's wrong. You're doing this because you want that connection.
Yeah. Yes. That happens. That is, experience of many people. But when we say be politically correct in behavior, that political correct nature should not be always there. Sometimes we should always, speak what is there in the heart. Otherwise, if we are just always political with everyone, then it becomes dry. Now we will not grow in our relation with them, and ultimately it will reflect in our relation with Krishna. So we should always know how to express our emotions in a right way. We should not politically always say, okay, I'm all right, I accept. Learn to express our emotions in a right way, which they'll appreciate. As I said, we should never say, oh, you did this,
Right.
and you should always say what I felt.
Right.
That's how we should be very, very open while expressing ourselves to our near ones. Of course, for outsiders, we can be always political, but with our close friends or relatives or our devotees, we should always open our heart. Guhyam Akhyati Prachati is the most important part of our bhakti. That's how we grow. That's how we develop close relationships. We can't be political in that. Political words come when we are dealing with people whom we are not so much close with. And also, while dealing with some devotees whom we know that, oh, I'm not so much in tune with what they are. So that's how, we have to learn whom to do this Guhyam Akhyati Prachati with, and just try to open your heart. Otherwise, we are always political, then it will be a difficult situation. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I'm hearing you after a very long time, felt very good. So Prabhuji said that with our close ones, we should be open, we should express our feelings. But my question is, you express your feeling once, twice, thrice. But if you are not getting that acceptance, you still means should we still open our heart, or should we just keep it to ourselves? And how to trust them, that is the basic thing, because we feel that they are our close one, they will understand us and we share our feelings, but it doesn't go that way. So how to deal in such situations?
Yeah, yes. Many times we have such people in our lives. We should not expect that everybody will understand what we want, what are our feelings, even so-called our near ones. If repeatedly, if we are trying to tell something and they're not understanding, that means we should know that they are not the right people to open our hearts with. So in this world, everybody has different nature. Everybody is at different level of evolution in their consciousness. And if we are opening our hearts and they are not able to understand, then we should know that they are not in tune with us. Try to find somebody, some good friends who can help us, with whom we can share our hearts and give us some solutions. Because it is not that all close relations they will understand us. If it is there, wonderful. If it is not there, find somebody who can help us. So that is what we have to learn. It happens by, as they say, trial and error. Keep trying, and after repeatedly making attempts, if somebody is not understanding, then we should not spend so much of our time and energy and consciousness with those people. Try to find some good friends who can help us, especially in devotees circle. We should try to develop good friends with the devotees. They'll guide us, they'll help us. So that's what is needed. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. I don't see any hand raised. Dear devotees, do you want to have any last minute questions or comments? Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can we do one thing that we put everyone in one category? See, now we are trying to come to the Madhyama platform. We want to differentiate whom to take association, whom to keep distance. That kind of thing is there. But that can we put everyone in one category and see that whatever comes from them is actually Krishna giving through them, and face each and every situation as it comes in our life.
The Madhyamdikari has 4 types of dealings. As we all know, Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. So naturally, we can't keep everyone in same box. We have to deal with people accordingly. If somebody is envious, just keep distance from them. Somebody is good friend, somebody is very near, make friends with them. Devotees. Even in devotees, you'll find many types of devotees. Some devotees, they are just like as Kapaladev says, one can practice bhakti in 3 modes. Bhakti in the mode of ignorance, bhakti in the passion, bhakti in the mode of goodness. So we should try to understand that this person, is he practicing or is she practicing bhakti in pure devotion? Or does she have or does he have some ulterior motives? So that's the intelligence we have to use and then associate with them accordingly. We can't show respect to everyone at the same level. Sakala sammane korite shakati deho natha jatha 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 jatha, as they deserve. We can't respect everyone equally. Lord is there in tiger's heart also and a devotee's heart also. We cannot say Vancha Kalpataru to a tiger. He will say Mahaprasade Govinde. So we have to learn to give respect as a person deserves, as a devotee deserves. As Nectar of Instruction says, Krishneti Sigiritam Manasa Adriyeta Dikshati Cheta Pranatibhishcha Bhajantam Isham Shushushaya Bhajan Vikyam Ananyamanya Nindadi Shunya Ridi Ipsita Sanga Labdhya. If you hear once Krishna from somebody's mouth, respect him as Vaishnava. If somebody is more serious, taking initiation, respect them more. And if somebody is bhajana, vigya, expert in devotion, pure devotee, serve them. So that's how we have to make differences in dealings. Respect them, but that respect is also different according to the level of person. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. No other option. We'll have to take this like little judgment every moment with everyone. Thank you so much. If will pay obeisances to all Vaishnavas and Prabhuji, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasinubhyo Pavanebhyo
Kripa Sindhu
Ananta Koti
Patitanam
Vaishnavindaki
Pavanebhyo
Jai Srila
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Prabhupada ki
Namaha.
Jai Srimad
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai
Jai.
Gaur Vilas
Jai.
Prabhuji ki Jai
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.